What allies has he alienated? Well, I mean, I think I talked about his first term, but even just the last 3 days. I mean, when you're talking about when you're getting on phone calls and talking about invading Greenland and you're talking about annexing Canada, usually our allies are pretty, our greatest allies overseas, like our NATO allies, are pretty upset with some of that stuff. Canada to our north is like pretty upset that we keep suggesting they're going to be the 51st state. That actually doesn't bode well with our allies, believe it or not. In fact, it got reported really heavily yesterday that like Trump was on a phone call with the Danish government, Denmark, who owns Greenland, and they assumed in this conversation it was going to be like kind of like joking, or Trump was going to be using this whole like we're going to take Greenland as like a bargaining tool. But according to multiple officials, both on the European side and in the Trump administration, the phone call was brutal. The Danish government offered him like a section of profits they make from their minerals, like when they mine them. They offered them to work jointly on like certain military bases, and Trump said, "No, I want your country," and it went really bad. And the Danish government got off the phone, was apparently very freaked out because they were like, "Holy shit, he's serious about like using any force necessary to take our country." So that would be that, and that's a NATO ally. And the guy who ran on America First, I'm going to get us out of war, is talking about invading a NATO ally. Just got on the phone with them like 2 days ago.
I don't think it would be an invasion. I think they'll come to an agreement to give us the right to the land.
Yeah, but you see how that would alienate our allies if we're. You don't think it would upset our NATO ally and partner if we are forcing them to come to an agreement because we want their land?
Well, we'll get their land through, obviously, agreement. It's going to happen.
Okay, but don't you think, so in that scenario, if that was going to happen, don't you think that like the Danish government and the people of Greenland would just prefer not to do that?
We're not going to like invade their land.
Okay, but you understand that if Trump was to strong arm and force Greenland to sell part of their land to us, that would upset them. Yes?
That's not going to happen, though.
Okay, so you're saying there isn't going to be an agreement?
No, there's going to be a mutual agreement. There's going to be more like forcing.
So in the mutual agreement, that's going to upset our allies.
No. Who's it going to upset? Please tell me.
The fucking Greenland, the Danish government, the people we are coming to an agreement with.
They're not going to be upset.
They're not? Is that why the prime minister is that why the fucking Danish government and the people in Greenland are all screaming about how like, quote, it's not for sale, we're not giving it up, we do not want to be a part of the United States, over and over and over again? So if they were forced into an agreement, I think it would upset them.
Well, no one's forced into an agreement.
Oh my fucking.
But
we live in a society, dude. I don't know.
We definitely do live in this society.
We do.
Because a little bit of the population's upset.
Bro, sure. Yeah, that's alienating the allies, bro.
That's not what. How? Please tell me that a small population's getting on the internet and saying we don't want to do this.
No. The Danish prime minister is saying we are not for sale. It's not the people. It's the people who are in charge of the country.
Do you have a source for this? You're on mute. I can't hear you, man.
You're telling me that they're not going to be upset because the Danish prime
minister is saying that the land's not for sale. He never said that.
Really?
Yes, he never said that.
Okay.
He never said, quote unquote, the land's not for sale. Never said that.
Okay. Never said that, chat. Let's get some. Let's see. That's a different politic. That's a politician in the. Oh, here we go. Prime Minister, quote, Greenland belongs to Greenlanders, unquote, end quote, 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 the Danish Prime Minister said on Tuesday, quote, the Greenlandic Prime Minister has been very, very clear that there is a lot of support among the people of Greenland that Greenland is not for sale and will not be in the future either, end quote.
Yes. So
wait, pause. You just said, quote, the Danish government has never said Greenland is not for sale. The Danish prime minister said, quote, on Tuesday, that the Greenlandic prime minister and him have been very, very clear that there is a lot of support among the people of Greenland that Greenland is not for sale and will not be in the future either, end quote.
Okay.
So it sounds like he said exactly what you said he didn't say.
He did not say that it's not for sale.
What did I just read? What did I just read? What did I just read?
It's funny. The talks that are happening right now.
Wait, dude. Okay. This is like, you actually have to be living in fantasy land. Like, can we stick on one point? You said the Danish prime minister never said Greenland. Hold on. Let's just hold on. You said the Danish prime minister said Greenland is not for sale. I just read you an exact quote where he said, quote,
we're not buying it.
Quote, Greenland is not for sale and will not be for sale in the future, end quote.
Yeah, we're not buying it.
Okay, but you said that the Danish prime minister
agreement.
But you said that the Danish prime minister has never said that, and I just read it, so you can agree that you were wrong.
Sure.
Okay.
So yeah, we're not buying Greenland whatsoever. It's going to be a mutual agreement that we take it over.
And okay, so in that mutual agreement,
the only reason why Greenland exists in the first place is because of the United States.
Okay, so you think that in that mutual agreement with the Danish prime minister and the Greenlandic prime minister both saying that they don't want this, if they came to an agreement, you don't think that would upset them and our other NATO allies?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
why would it?
All right,
why would it? Why would it?
I didn't think we'd get to this point. And somehow it never ceases to amaze me. Like, it's so disheartening that when things like this happen, I have those conversations. I'm like, there's no way you can defend this. The people who were like, focus on America first. There's no way you can defend this. And now I'm having conversations about how it's fine that we're going to take over Greenland. It never fucking ceases to amaze me. I mean, it's like, the only thing Trump's ever been right about, and I always think he's not going to be right about it, but he is. There's one thing Donald Trump has said that is 100% the truth. One thing. I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and I wouldn't lose a single voter. These fuckers don't have a thought in their head, man. It's like, why do I even have these arguments? It's, I voted for Trump because America first and I want to get out of war. And now I'm having discussions about how Trump is hell-bent on taking Greenland, and the Greenlandic prime minister and the Danish prime minister and the Danish government are very upset. And they're like, well, that's fine. We're just going to take it anyways. And I don't think it'll be a big deal. What the fuck? Dude, he could start World War III tomorrow, and the conversation would be, well, I like that he did it because America's strong. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, why do I put myself through this? It's not like I'm actually arguing about, like, none of half the people I talk to don't want anything anyways. They don't. They want to be right, and they want to believe Trump is right. And whatever Trump does, they will shift to be right. Jesus fuck, man. I can't, oh my God. It drives me absolutely ballistic. Right now, we have a president of the United States who's calling our NATO allies saying, I'm coming to take your land. And everyone's like, yeah, that's fine. No, it's actually not fine. It's actually really detrimental to our country right now as we speak. Really detrimental to the United States on a world stage, for our economy, for our partnerships, for our military, for everything. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think we live in a society, chat. I think we do. I mean, I don't know. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Let me know in Savvy. Good to see you. I appreciate you. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know in the comments. Easier to bring you up. And I love you.
What's up, Chris?
Oh, what's up, man? Have we talked?
How you doing, bud?
Oh, good. I'm getting deja vu. I feel like we've had whatever conversation we're about to have.
What do you mean?
Have we talked before?
No, I talked with Dean before.
Okay. Well, why'd you vote for Trump?
It's my choice.
Okay. Well, yeah, no shit. But you're up here on a live, so you're supposed to like give me, why'd you decide to vote for Trump?
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want me to say?
I was just curious why you voted for
Yeah,
Trump.
how about the when Parker did a Yahtzee salute? That's crazy.
Okay,
Your little boyfriend did that. That's crazy.
I'm not familiar with what you're referring to, but can we and actually let me say this with full entire confidence. I'm not referring to what you're talking. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I guarantee for a 100%. Can you shut the fuck up? Thank you. I guarantee with a 100% fact that whatever you're talking about right now did not happen, and I bet my life savings on it. So actually, without knowing what you're talking about, I will defend it fiercely.
I have proof.
All right. Well, you're a fucking idiot. Can you tell me why you voted for Trump, or can you get out of my life?
Yeah. I mean,
5
he
seconds.
didn't raise the gas prices.
He didn't raise the gas prices.
Who closed down the pipeline?
Okay. The Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't operational. It was only 8% complete, and it wasn't our oil. It belonged to Canada, so it would have had no effect on gas prices. I don't know what. I have no. I think you got like fed a bunch of misinformation from Trump because he lies all the fucking time, and so you believe that like a pipeline that wasn't finished and had no oil running. So can you address what I just said? Please, like we're not just going to go from point to point. I'm just going to hammer you on each one.
You're being very rude. I don't like that.
I'm being rude. Me. When you get up here and you start fucking, really? Let's go point by point, so I can just crush you over and over and over again, and you can leave. So the pipeline that you're referring to, the pipeline that you're referring to, the pipeline. Do you want to speak or do you want to leave? The pipeline you're referring to was only 8% complete, had no oil running through it, and it wasn't our oil. It belonged to Canada. It was being refined in the United States. Do you have an objection to that, or can you concede?
But who closed it?
Joe Biden.
There we go.
So how does that have any effect on oil prices?
What did that do?
How does that have any effect on oil prices?
What did that do?
When he closed the pipeline?
Yeah, what did that do
It
to
stopped.
us?
It stopped the pipeline from being, from continuing to be built.
Okay.
You related this to oil. You said you like Trump because he, quote, didn't bring down the price of oil, even though we're producing more oil right now than ever before in human history. But how does that relate to a pipeline that had no oil in it?
I don't know. All I'm saying is I like Trump.
Did you know in 2023 we were producing 1.1 million more barrels a day of oil than we were under the all-time high, during the all-time high under Trump, 2019?
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah.
Can you tell me one thing now? Why did you let Pierce? I don't think that's you. I think that was Harry. Yeah, I think that was Harry. Why did Pierce Morgan destroy your friends? You had Charlie Kirk destroyed Parker and Dean, and you have Pierce Morgan destroy Harry. You tried taking our president out, and guess what, Chris? It didn't work. You tried to put Trump in prison, and guess what? It didn't work. So, and also, what's up this? Do you know about the cute snow boots?
I didn't try to do any of that.
Well, it was your Democratic Party that tried to take him out.
You have no evidence of either of those things.
I said the Democratic Party, not you.
Yeah, the Democrat Party did not A, try to take Trump out, and B, did not try to imprison
what happened in Butler, PA? What happened in Butler, PA?
Yeah, I don't think the Democrats were behind that.
He was a Democrat. The assassinator was a Democrat.
Okay. All right. And about the criminal cases, like the one that was Trump was found liable by a jury of his peers, that was the Democrats also.
Yes, it was basically the.
Basically the Democrats. So was the jury? What was wrong with that case? He's a convicted felon. What disagreement do you have with that?
Nothing. It's just crazy how you tried taking out our president. No words.
I don't think. I think what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, was like really tragic.
Okay, here's another thing. What about the cute snow boots? What's up? What's up?
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. If you want to talk about Trump,
about the cute snow boots, all these people
no fucking idea. Dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you want to talk about Trump and why you voted for him, we can. If not, you can leave.
Because he's not a fucking idiot.
Okay, so can we try to give more substance behind that?
No.
Okay, well,
He's just
how about
not
this? Try to
fucking-
rub the 2 brain cells you have left that are like, take the
You're
little
just
ham,
like Dean. He
take
said
the
that to me.
take the little ham sandwich in your brain, rub it together, try to give me something.
All right, I'll try that. I'll try that.
Okay.
Isn't Dean homeless? Isn't he homeless?
Can I ask you a question?
Didn't get-
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay.
I do have a cult.
You seem very obsessive with like other people's ordeals on over the internet. It's kind of strange.
It's funny. It's funny. It's hilarious.
Okay. Well, maybe you should get like a hobby or something.
Oh, I do have a hobby.
Focusing on other people on the internet.
No, I play guitar.
Oh, see, you should pursue more guitar and less of whatever you're doing right now.
I work. That's basically
Okay.
it.
So you should try doing both 2 of those things more and eliminating whatever you're doing
work
up
at
here.
night, not during the daytime. I'm like Batman.
If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Jesus God, dude. I know Echovision will never, even if I was fucking like 189% body fat, 5'11", doing the same content, Echo still wouldn't sponsor me because obviously it's politics and you can't do that. It'll fuck up their brand, obviously. And I understand. But I'm shamelessly promoting because I love Echovision and I'm drinking their energy drink. That guy cooks Chris. Oh yeah, that guy cooked Chris, and I'm 6'7" and I'm in the NBA. We can all just make shit up. I would sponsor you. Oh my God, your name's Echo. Holy shit, that's actually sick. That was good. I love it. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. That guy couldn't cook cereal. Oh my God, it's Cole Perez, guys. If you don't follow Cole Perez, oh my God, that's my boy right there. That's my boy right there. Cole Perez is dope. Go follow Cole. I know you guys probably do follow Cole. I'm saying don't follow. Go follow Cole. As if like that dude's not a bigger creator than me. Yo, Cole, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. We should catch up sometime soon, man. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well, truly. All right. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Bree, what's going on? I love Cole for real. That's right. Cole's dope. You got to come out to That's right, Cole. Come out to Chi-Town. We can go out, bro. Hit some bars or something. Do something. I don't go out enough in Chicago. I gotta go out much. About to fall asleep? Really? Sleep well. Love your insane amount of patience, Chris. I try. 1534 Eagles, the second half start. Right? Oh my. Guys, if you're a Trump supporter, bro, what the hell is this? What? Oh, bro. I mean, we just live in a society, dude. Trade war? Yeah, it's really bad. Trade war is really bad. Dems failed me. Nice. Why don't you come up and talk about it? If you're a Trump supporter, Sierra, what's going on? How are you? Venmo, I got you. Give me 1 second. Go to technology. That's right. Where's Harry? I don't know. Probably asleep. You can't hack a debate, or what's the point? I mean, I have no idea what that means. Looking for Trump supporters. Hello?
Hey, Chris. Oh, just dropped my water bottle. Sorry.
That's all right. What did you vote for Trump?
Hell yeah.
Okay, why'd you do that?
Because he's going to drill, baby, drill.
Okay. Why do you feel like Biden did something wrong around oil?
Yeah, well, he's not pro big oil, obviously.
Well, in 2023, we broke the all-time high, the all-time record for your mic's echoing a little bit, by the way.
Sorry. Hold on.
That's all right.
All right.
In 2023, we broke the record for the most oil being produced ever in American history. We were producing 1.1 million more barrels a day than at the all-time high under Trump, and then we broke that record again in 2024. So
Right.
I feel like,
and what's the
Biden was
oil? What's the oil deficit per day for the amount we're producing and the amount we are consuming?
Well, the amount well, I don't think that's. I kind of disagree with the premise of the question.
Why?
In terms of if you want to talk about because obviously we could drill enough oil to sustain ourselves, but we choose not to because we make more money, selling oil to other countries at a higher price and buying it back at a lower price. If you want to talk about
Right.
obviously under Joe Biden in 2023, we were net exporters of oil, meaning we were exporting more oil than we were importing for the first time since World War II.
Right.
I don't know about how much.
Why don't you know the deficit?
Because I don't think that. Why would it be important to know the amount of oil we produce versus the amount we use if we're not concerned about? That's not how oil markets work.
Well, I mean, if we made records producing oil in 2023 or 2024, we're obviously not producing enough because the deficit is 6 million barrels a day. 6 million barrels a day.
But my point is that the United States goal is not to produce enough oil to sustain itself. That's not we could do that. We choose not to. We actively choose not to.
Trump in his first administration tried to become energy independent.
Well, clearly he did a worse job than Joe Biden, considering Joe Biden was producing much more. The Biden administration, if this is how your logic, produced more oil than him. Well, he approved 97% less, or he signed 97% less new oil leases than Donald Trump, but he was approving a lot of pending leases and actually, trying to approve leases while paying attention to the environment. There's some iffy.
The deficit in the United States was smaller under Trump.
So again, I don't think the goal is for the United States to be energy independent. I don't think that's a good thing, and I don't think that's ever been the United States foreign policy position, Republican or Democrat.
So you say that Biden is pro big oil?
I'm just saying, Biden, you said that you like Trump because drill, baby, drill. I'm just saying that all the spigots are turned all the way up. There's not much more oil to drill.
You don't think there's more oil to drill?
I mean, if we're drilling more oil than any country on the face of the planet ever, then what do you think? Trump's going to increase oil production another 50%?
Didn't Biden right at the end ban offshore drilling?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So how does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's possible to promote. It's possible to understand that in this moment we need. I'm going to mute you for just a second because you're echoing. Yeah. It's possible to understand that in this moment we need to be producing oil, so the American people are not strained at the pump, for example, while simultaneously trying to pay attention to the severe damage that does to our environment. And I might have some disagreements with Joe Biden around that issue itself, but again, just because we want to produce oil doesn't mean we have to be doing it in a demonstrably, it's all demonstrably negative for the environment, but especially offshore drilling, we don't need to be doing that. Similarly, we don't need to be, engaging in drilling oil in certain areas of Alaska or wildlife lands, etc. So it's possible to do both at the same time.
Moving on, you said that the DNC was not behind the E. Jean Carroll case. Who paid for?
Part of the hold on. No, that's not what I said. Part of the problem when part of the problem when your bar for president of the United States is in the ground is you mix up your court cases. So Donald Trump was found liable for sexually abusing a woman, E. Jean Carroll, found liable for defaming that woman, E. Jean Carroll, found liable for defaming her again, found liable for one of the largest business fraud cases in American history. That was all in civil court. And then he was found criminally guilty of falsifying business records in the first degree because he paid off a porn star, falsified the business records, and did so to engage in a catch and kill scheme to catch false stories about him before the election, therefore violating New York State election law. And he was found guilty unanimously by a jury of his peers for 34 felony counts and was sentenced. So the criminal case is the one I was referring to.
Who paid for E. Jean Carroll's legal fees?
I don't know.
Chris, come on. You do know.
I don't think here's the problem. And I do this a lot with the criminal cases as well. You're going to engage in things that even if we were to have some giant argument, or people say like, oh, what did Alvin Bragg say here? Or what did the judge say here? Or all these things. You're not giving me any substance about what was wrong with the case itself. And again, I think that like in Donald Trump's character, especially because he talks so disgustingly about women and is building a culture of sexual abuse in America by bragging about it. I think it's pretty clear, that he sexually abused E. Jean Carroll. He's bragged about sexual abuse multiple times on audio. E. Jean Carroll had the dress that she wore that day, offered to DNA test it. Donald Trump said no. We had testimony from multiple doctors, therapists, her roommates at the time, who all corroborated the story. And in a court of law, they reached their verdict. So again, I don't find it necessary to talk about who paid E. Jean Carroll's lawyer fee, because that doesn't relate to what was wrong in the case.
So you don't think there's anything sus about the timing of the case and the fact that one of the biggest donors to the DNC, the gentleman who owns LinkedIn, paid for all of her legal bills at right before the election. That doesn't come up.
Wait. To your first point, what do you mean about the timing? That makes no sense.
It was right before the first election.
Okay, so but you understand, like, again, if you know somehow that Reid Hoffman, which I highly doubt, was paying her legal fees, then you must know that E. Jean Carroll has been multiple nonprofits have been working with years. And E. Jean Carroll's worked with those nonprofits to change New York State election law to allow sexual abusers it was a 1-year period to get rid of the statute of limitation and come sue their sexual abuser in court. She accused him in 2019, but have been pushing for that law, and multiple nonprofits pushing around that law for a while. So again, the whole timing argument just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but in terms of the DNA, Trump's attorneys agreed to the DNA testing. If I believe it was, there was some condition that her attorneys would not meet, and it was something like he wanted. I believe it was he wanted also their own people to test the DNA or something. It was something along those lines, and her attorney said no. So it wasn't like, oh, he blocked the DNA testing, or that was not the case.
I think I'm just going to make sure here. Yeah, no, that's just not true. You just made that up. I'm triple checking my own memory. But Trump. No, because you're wrong. Because Trump's attorney said, quote, that Carroll had not demonstrated a reasonable basis for such an intrusive request. Further, the request is highly prejudicial given chain of custody concerns and violates defendant's privacy rights, which are especially sensitive given that he is the former president, end quote. And then they wrote a letter saying that to the judge, saying that there was no justification for him to be required to turn over his DNA, and that her quote, E. Jean Carroll's counsel had plenty of opportunities to move to compel Mr. Trump to submit a DNA sample. Had they done so, blah, blah, blah. So again, their argument is that he wasn't legally required to, which is true. They couldn't compel the DNA from him, but what you're saying is just false. They just said they weren't going to do it because they didn't have to.
It sounded like you were reading something that didn't agree with your narrative. And that's
what? No, there's an entire letter.
According to my memory.
No, there's an entire letter to the judge. I just didn't need to continue reading. Where I stopped at was the letter continues by saying, quote, oh wait, I'm sorry. Oh wait. I stopped at her counsel has had plenty of opportunities to move to compel Mr. Trump to submit a DNA sample. Had they done so, they almost certainly would have gotten it. And then the letter goes on to say, so even if there were a match, it would not prove or disprove the allegation, because although it would clearly prove that they had met before, their legal team made the argument that it wouldn't prove anything. Again, obviously, for the whole case of Trump saying a million times, I've never seen this woman, I've never met her, they would be really bad. AKA destroys president. Well, it wouldn't, because, a bunch of people don't care that he actively says on audio he said on audio that he sexually abuses women. And regarding this case, he's bragged about it multiple times and has said gross and disgusting things. So I don't know why that would come to a surprise for anyone. But no, I didn't stop reading because I found something I didn't want. My point remains the same, that they in the letter to the judge, they laid out their legal argument for why they felt like he didn't need to compel his DNA. In their opinion, if they would have tried earlier, he would have been forced to get it. They would have been forced to give up Trump's DNA, and that even if they do compel Trump's DNA, it doesn't prove anything, and so therefore they shouldn't have to. And that may be a sound legal argument, but again, it still remains to my point that they didn't give it up because they didn't have to. And to your point, you just made that up in your head.
Did you just say that he said on tape that he sexually
Correct.
assaults women?
Correct.
Where did that quote come from?
The quote comes from the Hollywood Access tape where he says, quote, when you're this rich and famous, I don't even have to wait. I just start kissing. I don't even wait. I don't even have to ask, end quote. If you start kissing someone and you don't wait, what do we call that? We call that assault.
Okay.
Okay, chuckle? Has someone not taught you that before? Do you need to be hit? Do you need to be out and someone to hit you across the face? Your face hits the pavement to be able to figure that one out? Come on, I know your parents.
No.
I know your dad taught you that one.
No, I'm just shocked there aren't a gazillion civil cases out there for the reasons you just said.
Well, obviously he can say whatever he wants. There's not going to be a civil case around him saying that he, bragging about what he does. But I'm just saying it goes to, in my opinion, not on a legal sense, in my opinion, it just goes to, people are saying, oh, it's not true. And I'm like, well, he says it. And again, just speaking to not even the legal case or if he did it, just president of the United States saying those type of things. And then after this case, being found liable for defamation because he went on his own social media site and bragged about it said she's gross, she's disgusting, she looks like shit, here's all about her life, 4 a.m., 100 plus posts an hour. So he's found liable for defaming her, then wouldn't shut up, found liable for defaming her again. I mean, that's not someone with the emotional temperament to be president. It's not even someone with the emotional temperament of a real man.
Cool. I got to jump. Thanks for having me up.
Yeah. And, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for being respectful.
The follows and all. Yep.
Yeah. Be safe. By the way, I was not threatening to, I was not threatening to hit that human being. I was speaking in a broad sense of if you do something, touch a woman any type of way, you'll get hit. And I was saying, has your father not taught you this? Just want to be clear about this. Which is a valid point. Well, yeah, pretty fucking valid point, dude. Yeah, he was respectful. No, he was respectful. Look, it's fine to have it's one thing to have again, it's a two separate conversations. Talking about voting for someone, got to zoom out. I'm more than happy to talk about obviously Trump legally was not compelled to give his DNA, and his lawyers probably made a half decent argument for that. I get that, but he wouldn't willingly turn over the DNA. And again, in this whole context, it's he's the goddamn president of the United States. He's not Jesus fuck, dude. Half of you if half of you in this live have any type of job at all, and these things came out, you'd be fired. We'd all be fired, right? I worked at AT&T for a while. Do you think if AT&T, as a retail sales rep, found out that I was on trial for sexually abusing a woman civilly, that they'd let me stay at AT&T as a retail sales rep? Probably not, right? Probably not. They'd probably rerun that background check and be like, pass. But whatever. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Double tap screen. Thanks everyone for being here. 2.5K is crazy. You guys rock. 23-34 Eagles. Ooh, game's getting close. W's Ryan for the updates. Yeah, I can actually pull it up here. Let me read some Venmos. I appreciate Gabby, so good to see you. Thank you so much for $2 on Venmo. Truly means the world. I want everyone to know I don't take it for granted. Just the fact that I can talk about what I love and be up here means the absolute fucking world. You guys all fucking rock. 23-34 308. Who has the ball? The Eagles. Gabby, hey, early live. My mom's starting to get concerned with my sleep schedule. Oh, really? He's been there a bunch? Holy shit. Okay, I got you. Gabby, I'll hop in. I appreciate you a lot. You rock. Huge W's for Abby. Excuse me, Mac. Thanks so much for $1. Brain-eating bacteria would starve in some of these people's heads. I can't. You said it, not me. How about that? Mac, I love you. It's good to see you. Lindsay, thanks for $1. Forensic nurse, please let me school him. Oh, Lindsay, I'm so sorry. I didn't see this. I promise. Next time, I got you if you're up here. I'd love to follow you. You rock. Thank you, Lindsay, for what you do. Echo, thanks so much. For $10, you fucking rock. It means a lot. Actually, I can help sponsor you. Hope the drink does too. W's Echo. That's dope. That name's dope. Echo Vision. Echo. This beautiful individual. What a great individual. I really appreciate $10. Seriously, it goes a long way. If you're down there, I'd love to follow you. Coco, thanks for $1. Hey, Chris, how's your Sunday going? Coco, it's going well. I hope your Sunday's going good too. I'm relaxed, feeling good. Carrie, thanks so much for $1. What you do is very important. Thank you for educating us and caring so deeply. It matters, I promise. Carrie, I love you. You're amazing. Thank you so much for the support. Truly. Eden, thanks so much for $1. We aren't buying it. It's going to be an agreement. Like, bro, I'm so sorry. I don't know how you do this day in and day out, but you give me more faith in humanity. I appreciate you. Eden, it's getting bad. Like, it's getting really bad. It's like, we're at the point where it's like, it's one thing to be defending Trump. It's already, obviously so far gone to be defending Trump leading up to the election. And now we're doing the whole, like, he's forcing Greenland. It's an agreement, but they're not going to be upset about the forced agreement. I mean, yeah, you literally get it off live and just like bang your head against the wall, dude. It's just like, it's bad. Tiffany, thanks so much for $2. Hi, Chris. I was working on a crochet project and I was just wondering, what are your 2 favorite colors? Holy shit, Tiffany, that's very kind. Huge W's for Tiffany. My 2 favorite colors. Not sure I'm a big favorite colors guy. I'm pretty laxed. Like, I don't really have a favorite food. Oh my God. What a great save. I don't really have a favorite food. I don't really have like a favorite color. Let's go with wow. Let's go with blue and let's go with blue and white. Why not? Light blue and white, maybe a light blue, a sky blue, or a sky blue and a black, or like a monotone, a sky blue and something else. I love you. You're amazing, Tiffany. Violet, thanks so much for $2. Violet, I'll have to check out that DM. I appreciate you so much. Can I get 1,000,000 W's? I will check out the DM. W's for Violet. I appreciate you so much. Don't apologize. Katie, $20 on Venmo. That is super, super, super kind. More early birthday money. Thanks again for all you do. You're too fucking kind. Too kind, Katie. I love you. You're the best. Huge W's in the chat. White isn't a color. Yeah, isn't it like the absence of all color, right? Like all color is reflected. No color is absorbed, or is that? I don't remember. Intro to art, something like that. Emily, Katie, really kind, truly not something I take for granted. I appreciate you, Emily. Thank you so much for $15. Holy shit! Hope you're awesome. Hope you had a nice weekend. It's Millennial Therapist. We love Millennial Therapist. Can I get 1,000,000 W's in the chat? You are amazing. Holy shit! Thank you, Hannah. Thank you so much for 2 cents. Can we get a mihoy minyoy? Mihoy minyoy. Hannah, you're the best. Good to see you. Blair, thanks for $1. Thoughts on MKG? MKG or MGK? Sorry, MGK? Like MGK, like the artist? MGK? No, I don't know that I have many thoughts. I'm neutral. Is that good? Blair, I love you. It's good to see you. Alethea? Maybe? Sorry. You're the best. Christopher Mowry, listen to the walls. I got you. You're amazing. Huge W's in the chat. And lastly, Megan, thank you so much for $10. Thank you for what you're doing. Welcome to Chicago. Megan, if you ever seen me around, say hi. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Truly, that's not something I take for granted. You're absolutely fucking incredible. W's for Megan. And oh my goodness. Can I get 1,000,000 W's in the chat for Hannah? $50 on Venmo. That is so, so fucking kind. I love you. Listening to you while puzzling or crocheting is a light and a dark week. Hannah, You are incredibly fucking kind. That is not something I take for granted. Thank you to all of you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Truly, I really, really don't take that for granted. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. I love you. All right. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Hannah, I truly appreciate you. Are you in boys? What? Hello?
Hello?
What's up, man? How old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20 years old.
I am.
Why'd you vote for Trump?
I mean, I think he's probably the most pro-crypto.
I think I'm going to go with driving. Unfortunately, I would like to talk to you, but I believe you're driving, and I can get my life taken down for that, unfortunately. But if you like to talk and you're not driving, more than happy to. Oh my God, they fumbled again! Oh my fucking God, dude. The Commanders are so... hello?
How you doing?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, why'd you vote for Trump?
I voted for Trump because of the past things he did in his previous presidency.
Okay, like what?
He lifted nearly 7 million people off of food stamps. The poverty rates for African American and Hispanic Americans reached record lows. Income equality fell for 2 straight years by the largest amount in over a decade. The bottom 50% of American household income saw a 40% increase in net worth. Wages rose for the fastest.
Okay, so why don't we get to some cause for that? So how did, like, I understand the stats you're reading off, but like, how did he do that? What did he pass to do all that? Like, what was the?
I've actually had this conversation with Parker a couple times. There was no policies passed to do these things. There doesn't need to be a policy to pass to do these things. He actually, give me 1 second. He passed bills for this to be done. There's no policies for these to be created.
Okay. So what bills did he pass?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know he did it.
Okay, so that's correlation without causation. So like you're correlating these positive stats to Trump, but you can't figure out how Trump did them. That's the cause, right? So right now in Maine, the consumption of margarine, a butter-like cooking spread, correlates perfectly with the divorce rate over the last 10 years. As more people consume margarine at a perfect rate, more people get divorced for 10 straight years. Obviously, margarine is not causing divorce, correlation without causation. So if you say that all these great economic stats happened under Trump, but you can't tell me why they happened, then there's no causation.
Well, he passed these things. For example, one of them I stated was the poverty rates for African and Hispanic Americans were pretty high during his presidency, at the beginning of his presidency. And he he created affordable housing income for those people because those homeless rates were pretty high.
Wait, well, affordable housing income?
Yeah.
What is that?
Jobs.
He created jobs for them. How did he create jobs for them?
Pass bills.
Yeah. So again, like you can't just say that if you have no cause, right? So like, let me give you an example of what you're saying. Donald Trump ended his presidency losing 3 million more jobs than he gained. He was one of only 2 presidents in American history to do this, and statistically was the worst jobs president ever. He left office with like a 7% unemployment rate, but right before he left office, it was like 14%.
That was because of COVID-19.
Right. Do you notice what you just did? I said a stat that happened under Trump, and you helped me by identifying the cause, because the cause is really important, because it probably would not be fair for me to just come up here and say Trump lost more jobs than any president ever and say, well, I don't know why, but it must have been because the bills he passed, when I'm obviously missing COVID-19. Similarly, if you're going to say things like fucking, I don't know, real wages increased or people had more jobs or all these things, and you have no cause, that's a problem. In fact, that's my exact argument, because Trump really didn't pass that much legislation. He really didn't do that much at all during his first administration, except burn everything the fuck to the ground. And Biden, on the other hand, Biden, on the other hand, passed, more fiscal legislation for the economy than any president like in the last 5 fucking decades.
What do you mean Trump burned stuff to the ground? I mean,
Yeah, he lied more than like any president statistically.
you don't think Biden lied either?
No, you're strawmanning my argument. Of course, I'm not saying Biden didn't lie. I'm saying Trump lied he lies more outrageously, more continuously than any politician ever, and it's well documented.
The way you say it makes it sound like Trump is worse than Biden. I mean, they're both.
The way you think about it, yeah, Trump is probably the worst U.S. president in history.
No, I might disagree with that, but
okay. Well, luckily, there's like most like political historians and political science people agree with me, which is an appeal to authority. But I'm just saying I don't like having a conversation where it's like, oh, Chris is crazy for saying Trump's the worst president ever, when like 140 of the brightest political historians and people who teach at all these different universities, they all every 4 years score the presidents. Every single president, they score their presidency based on a number of factors, and then they all get together, combine their scores, and list the presidents one down. And Trump was last time they did it. He was the worst
I'm not saying
president.
Trump is a good person either. He's definitely not a good person.
He was also a horrible president. How about trying to overthrow an election he didn't win with evidence he didn't win?
Well, that's a different topic in of itself.
No. I mean, you said, like I said, you were like, how did Trump burn everything to the ground? Well, I mean, he tried to overthrow an election he didn't win with evidence he didn't win it.
Yes. Well, let me ask you something. Why did you vote for Kamala? Kamala, I'm sorry.
Kamala. Wait.
No rush.
Yes. Sorry.
What the fuck are the Commanders doing, by the way? God damn.
I know, they're just folding. That's what they do. I voted for Kamala Harris because she's calm, cool, collected. She has a lot of experience, right? She was the attorney general. She was an attorney general, DA, senator, vice president. As vice president, she was the director of the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which I really liked. The Biden and Harris administration passed the first gun reform in the last like 3 decades. She used federal funding to go around and teach Americans how to store firearms safely, because a lot of firearm death we see is like there's so many guns in America that you just like sometimes children will get a hold of guns when they're not locked up and something really tragic will happen. So she directed people to go, use federal funding to teach people how to store firearms safely. She was a big part of investment overseas for like smaller countries relating to like armed migration problems. She was a big part of a lot of executive orders around like abortion care and reproductive rights. I think, calm, cool, collected, really, really intelligent, has leadership capabilities. I think she's everything we need in a president, and she is everything Trump is not.
Okay, well, I respect your opinion. There's a lot of things that I liked about both parties. I wish I saw Kamala do more things while she was in power of the office. How long was she in office, by the way? Was it like 4-5 months?
Wait, what?
How long was Kamala in? Because I know Biden stepped down from the race.
Well, you mean like wait. Well, she was never.
She never became president. No, but she was acting.
No, she was just campaigning. She wasn't the president.
I must have misread something somewhere then.
Yeah, no, like Biden dropped out of the presidential race, but he was still the president. He did not like resign or anything. So he finished his term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I respect your opinion, buddy. I appreciate you having that.
Of course, Ryan, and thanks. Sorry, I know I got like a little heated. It's been kind of a crazy day, but I appreciate you.
I appreciate that, man. I tried talking to Dean and Parker a few times, and that always gets so heated, but, man, I appreciate you being calm about it.
Yeah, I try my best. I appreciate you, and enjoy the rest of the Sunday. You're going to watch the other game?
Yes, sir. I'm going to watch the game. Man, I hope the Chiefs lose, dude.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank God you said that. I was scared for a second.
I know. I either want Commanders and Bills. Either way, if the Bills win, I don't care, man.
Anyone but the Chiefs, brother.
Anybody but the Chiefs, man.
I'm sick of it. I'm with you.
Fuck them, dude.
I'm with you. All right, Ryan. All
right, buddy. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, guys, I think that, gotta do, there's, people have to realize also that, is it ideal what we just talked about? And I get very angry. Yes, obviously. But also I don't know. Democrats also have to we actually have to have people to vote. We have to have people who vote for us to win. And so if we just tell people all the time, which I'm certainly not saying I'm guilty of this all the time. I get angry and call people fucking stupid and tell them to get out of my life. But, some people are just trying to figure stuff out, and It's always okay to just be like, you know what? Sorry for getting heated. Hope you enjoy the game. Maybe makes him more likely to like open up and be like, damn, these people, like maybe they have some good points. And then he'll become a Democrat and realize that like, damn, because, you know, we do want to promote people like changing their minds. Yeah. But, I mean, dude, oh my fucking God. This is so criminal, man. Oh my God, I jumped off sides again. Dude, fuck the goddamn fucking Commanders, bro. I'm an emotionally intelligent king. That's very kind. I'm not sure. I'm in some ways I am emotionally intelligent. In a lot of other ways, I lack. I very much lack. Yeah, and hey, listen, I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. You know, I get it. Yo, Jack Virus Mom, so good to see you. I appreciate you so much. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. I love it. Great, fantastic. As a sports fan, I'm fucking so done with the Chiefs. I'm sorry. The NFL fucking loves the Chiefs. The refs bail them out so often. I can't do it anymore. I can't, especially as a Bengals fan. I'm fucking over it, dude. Patrick Mahomes pisses me off so bad. They give him every fucking call. Even like the last game I watched, dude, it's like every time I watch the Chiefs and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't hate him. And then I hate him more. It's like he's flopping and they're just asking for every call. Who day? Man, I need to go to another Bengals game. I've only ever been to one Bengals game. But I haven't been to Cincinnati in it's almost been like a year now. But I used to go to Cincinnati a lot more frequently. My family's from there. I love you, Chris, but go Chiefs. I respect it. I'm not going to be that, like, I'm not, you know, I'm just a Bengals fan and a Falcons fan, so it's not like I really care. I just want to see a good game. So, hey, if the Chiefs win, props to you. I love it, but I would like to see the Bills win this game. And I just watched the fucking Eagles score. Who they think going to beat them Bengals? Who they? Yeah, but when I actually said this to my dad when I was watching this season, I was like, I'm so sick of the fucking Bengals franchise. I can't do it anymore. We're a poverty fucking franchise. Won't spend any money to win a Super Bowl. And assuming Joe Burrow cares about his career because he's like a generational fucking talent, he'll leave. And I've made it very clear, and the Commanders getting crushed. I made it very clear that when Joe Burrow decides to up and leave, which I'll respect, I'm going to be a fan of whatever organization that is, and I'm not going to be a fan of the Bengals anymore. I'm sorry, but I'm sick of fucking cheering for a goddamn poverty franchise that gives us nothing, okay? It's so fucking tiring to cheer for a franchise that, like, it's different. It's not like the fucking, like, the Falcons, right? The Falcons will invest money to win, right? Arthur Blank has money. When we start to build a team that's like actually playoff capable, continue to build, let's say over the next few years, he would like dump a bunch of money to win a Super Bowl. That's how you have to act. And like the Bengals are a poverty franchise. They won't spend money for good players. After we lost to the Rams, we literally took our defense and started unloading people because we wouldn't want to pay them. And it's like, Jesus fuck. It's like, why do I just disappoint myself every time? It's so like we're handicapped every time because of fucking this shit. So I can't, no. Wherever Joe Burrow goes, I'm going to be a fan of that franchise. I'm banging on the Bengals. If Joe Burrow stays with the Bengals, I'll continue to be a Bengals fan. But till then, I'm out. Or if Joe Burrow leaves, I'm out. I'm leaving. Also, that might have not been the correct usage of the term handicapped for the record, so I apologize for that. I think I think handicapped can be used in multiple. Anyways, sorry, I'm a bandwagon. Dude, my whole family is from Cincinnati. All right, whatever. I don't need to, people. All right. Yeah, no, it's not like my parents met in like the 6th grade in Cincinnati and like they're all from there and stuff. And I was like born in Atlanta, but like always go to Cincinnati. No, not like that at all. Also, how do you bandwagon a team that didn't make the playoffs? Hello?
I just want to say I love you so much.
Oh my God, I love you. You're absolutely amazing. You're the best.
Bye.
W's in the chat for that guest. Oh, Mel, I'll check it out. I appreciate you. Yeah, bandwagoning what, bro? I mean, Jesus Christ, you're like 4-7 at one point this year. What am I bandwagoning? There's no wagon. I'm so funny. I liked her voice. What a voice. What a great voice. Hello?
Damn, am I on right now?
Yes.
Oh, true. How you doing, Chris?
Good. How old are you?
Not too bad. You want to get down to the screen behind you while you voted for Harris?
Yeah. Or how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So why didn't you vote? Why did you vote for Trump?
I mean, for me personally, it was my first election voting, but for me, I just compared my life from 2016 to 2020, and then 2020 to 2024, and just compare those two periods. And I feel like it was better from 2016 to 2020. Kind of a simple approach, but I got to preface everything I say by saying that I'm not too big into politics. So
Sure. So yeah. So I think that I think I would argue that that's like a bad way to do that, and here's why. Not trying to be mean, but yeah, here's why. It's like obviously correlation without causation. We live in like a pretty complex world with all sorts of factors and the biggest economy ever built on the face of the planet. Yeah. And so to go with just how your life was or how prices were, for example, and immediately relate that to the president, I think can fall into the pretty easy correlation without causation. So I always say like the price of the consumption of margarine in Maine, which is a cooking like butter spread, correlates perfectly with the divorce rate over the last 10 years. As people consume more margarine in Maine, the divorce rate goes up at the same rate for 10 straight years. That's correlation without causation, right? Obviously, margarine isn't causing divorce. So my argument is a lot of people say that their lives or financially, even for me, financially was like a lot harder in 2022 and 2023 because of things like inflation. But I would argue that, Trump actually didn't really pass or do much at all for our economy. Those things happened because of other factors. He really just didn't accomplish much that he promised to. And Biden-Harris actually passed more economic legislation than most presidents in the last 50 years. And it's the reason we're objectively the strongest economy on the face of the planet right now. And our GDP is rising so much faster than everywhere else because of
what legislation was that? Because I really feel because 2020 is when I really started to be financially more independent. Uh-huh. I just feel like shit was through the roof. It was pretty hard to buy.
Yeah, so that legislation would include the largest investment in infrastructure since Eisenhower. So $1.3 trillion for infrastructure, roads and bridges, $9.8 billion for high-speed rail, which is adding a lot of jobs. One of the largest investments in manufacturing in U.S. history, called the CHIPS Act. We gave private businesses tax cuts to create manufacturing facilities to create computer chips to compete against China.
Do you think being harsher on drilling oil, I think at least negatively impacts logistics and every aspect of the economy? I think drilling is super important for
yeah. I mean, in some ways, yeah. I mean, Biden-Harris. I mean, under Joe Biden in 2023, we were drilling more oil than ever before in U.S. history. We were drilling we were producing 1.1 million more barrels a day than
more
at the
than
record.
ever. Do you have a source for that?
Yeah. It's according to the Energy Information. Actually, it's just easier. It's according to the Energy Information Administration, which is the 3-letter agency, just kind of like the BLS that reports our. They just report the amount of oil the U.S. is producing every month or every quarter or whatever. In March of this is the March of 2024. Energy, the EIA.gov, the United States produces more crude oil than any country ever. The United States is producing more crude oil than any nation at any time, according to our international energy statistics for the past 6 years in a row. Crude oil production in the United States at this point, this was again March of 2024, averaged 12.9 million barrels per day in 2023. I'm sorry. So this is an article from 2024, but referencing stats from 2023. Sure. Crude oil production in the United States averaged 12.9 million barrels per day in 2023, breaking the previous U.S. and global record of 12.3 million barrels per day set in 2019. And then average monthly U.S. crude oil production established a monthly record high in December of 23 at 13.3 million barrels per day. And then it goes down the stats. Again, that's just the 3-letter agency that reports our oil output.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So again, one of the reasons I really don't like Trump is because I feel I know he lies all the time. And some of the things, some of the things he campaigned on, when I hear people say drill baby drill, just saying Joe Biden doesn't allow us to drill oil and is going on a war against U.S. energy. It's that's just remarkably untrue, where all the spigots are turned all the way up.
I've never heard someone say he goes to war against U.S. energy. I know he made us less energy dependent. I've heard.
Yeah, well, that I guess okay. So in that, like, even if that's what he says, like, that's just like a demonstrable lie when he says things like Joe Biden's hampering our ability to produce oil. He's producing more oil than Trump was.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Gotta look into that.
Yeah.
But okay, that comes down to the question though: why were things so much cheaper under Trump than Biden?
Yeah. So I think like most of it, again, in relation to like Biden, in relation to like Biden and Harris, like COVID. I think a lot of it comes down to COVID, right? Supply and demand issues. So gas is actually a really great.
I think that's coming out of COVID, but you got to think like COVID came in March of 2020 or earlier. And even for those months where Trump was president under COVID, I think inflation was a lot lower than
it was
the first year of the Biden-Harris campaign.
It was, that's true. And I it's because like of the actual dynamics of COVID. So like when even in that like last final section of Trump's presidency, like everyone was still very much locked down. Vaccines had not really rolled out at all. And so the demand for things like across the world, and again, oil is a good example of this, demand for oil was really, really, really low. And so there was no inflation because demand was low and people were cutting their supply, so supply was low. Biden gets in office and the dynamics change. Like the vaccine rollout starts happening aggressively. People start going outside. And so in that, demand skyrockets, but supply is still really, really low. And when supply is low and demand's high, it causes inflation. And that's when we started to try to aggressively boost our suppliers for all things, including oil, tried to like aggressively boost their supply. But not only do those things take time, but we had a lot of problems with like the logistics of shipping. People weren't working. Our ports were shut down. And so as we were boosting this supply to try to meet the demand, to try to curb inflation, we were at, people weren't going to work. Obviously, like people were dying. And so it all kind of culminated in a situation of a lot of inflation.
Chris, I gotta say, man, it's a lot easier to debate my friends who don't know as much than you. Goddamn.
That's I appreciate you, man. Yeah, politics is like a complicated thing. It's hard to understand. But that's also why I say that like correlation and causation are like really important, because like the world's a fucking complicated place, and so to be able to say like, oh, price is low here, president must be good, price is high, president must be bad. Like,
but I'm also thinking like in terms of like the average voter in the country.
Yeah. No,
does not know a lot about politics.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. Yeah, most people went to the voting booth, and it's understandable. Most people went to the voting booth with like this similar, the similar thing of like, well, I can't afford to take care of my kids and pay for rent, and I could under Trump, so I'm going to vote for him. And although I understand the sentiment, because those are good people, they want maybe a better economic result, I would just argue that that's not. It's just correlation without causation, and it's a really hard uphill battle for Democrats to. When they say in politics, when you're explaining, you're losing. So it's way easier for Trump to put on a bumper sticker, Trump low prices, Kamala high prices. It's a lot harder for Democrats to put, yes, prices were high under Biden, but he passed more fiscal legislation than any president ever, which led us to this point because our inflation is still kind of high, but better than the rest of the world. And here's why it wasn't his fault. That does not fit as well on a bumper sticker. So
it'd be interesting to have this debate in 4 years and see if Trump actually lowers inflation again. Right. But here's another one of my contentions. I think Kamala Harris, almost objectively, of course it's subjective, but as close as objectively as you can get, is just horrible at interviews and horrible at talking to the press. And honestly, not that good in the debates either.
Why do you say that?
I mean, well, for the first, I want to say almost 2 months after she had announced her campaign, she took 0 interviews. It was an insane. I see you frown there, but it was a long time where she. I don't know if
it was 2 months. That certainly wasn't 2 months. I think there was a week. There was a week or so in there where they were gearing up to travel and such. But, oh, I lost you.
Just watching this live. But it was at least a month where she took no interviews from the press. And then one thing comes to mind when she was asked, what would you do different from the Biden administration? And she said, nothing. So I just think she's a very bad media personality. And I think that swayed a lot of votes in Trump's favor. Just my contention.
Yeah, look, I think like Kamala Harris did a great job. I don't know that I would say like a month. I think, I know that like in the first week or two, there's a lot of talks like they were really gearing up and like even like submitting like creating a policy proposal page that usually takes 6 months, and she had to do it in 2-3 weeks. And I think that like they got it done. They did a really good job. I think there is conversations about like how the DNC or her advisors could have like, play their cards differently. I think.
Speaking of the DNC, what are your thoughts on her not having a primary and just being?
There was no one to primary. No one else came in the race.
You can still hold a primary.
For who?
But she also, when Biden ran for president and won the nomination, she ran as well, and she got dead last. So
yeah, I think that like obviously the country is like a much different place in 4 years, especially like the voting groups and what's been going on from 2020 to 2024. I think it's
sure, but that's not to say that you shouldn't have a primary and see who the voters want to be the candidate.
I think like again, like I think everybody threw their hat behind Kamala Harris. We voted for delegates to go vote for Kamala Harris, or to go submit their votes for who should be the nominee should be, and they all voted for Kamala Harris. And again, even if like we were to primary, like there was no one else. Nobody else threw their hat in the ring. All the other people that there was rumors about, like a Gavin Newsom, they immediately threw their support behind Kamala Harris. So they didn't, I don't think there was interest in a primary. You can't hold a primary if there's no runners.
You can hold a primary because people would have ran if there was a primary to run it.
But all the people who would have ran within an hour of her like calling her, saying what she wanted, or within an hour of her announcing her presidential bid, all those same people were already behind her.
Presidential bid implies the primary had already happened. There was no primary.
Wait, what? No. The presidential bid, as in like when Biden dropped out and endorsed her. I'm saying within like that, an hour or two of that, and Kamala Harris accepting that endorsement, like a lot of those people, like Gavin Newsom, had already said, I'm talking about whole support behind Kamala Harris. It's like they didn't even get a chance to talk about her.
That's fair, but I think it's still just a little bit unprecedented to not have it.
Okay. Santana, what do you think about this conversation? Do you want to say something, brother? Good to see you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, Jay, how are you? Oh, speak up for a second. Jay, can you still hear me?
Uh-oh. Jay?
Is he gone? There we go. Jay. Hey, Jay,
sorry.
how are you?
I didn't realize my name said Jay. Yeah, I'm here. What's good?
All right. Hey, listen, so there's one thing that you mentioned, like the interview process and all this other stuff. And one thing that I would really love to call out is the simple fact that, and Chris spoke to it amazingly, is how much time it takes for them to actually gear up. But it was about a 30-day period before she actually started to get out and do interviews, but she did actually hit a couple of different podcasts, and they might not have actually registered because they're not quote unquote well-known podcasts, but she did Up in Smoke. She actually did a interview with Uncle Luke on his podcast as well. So she did kind of dip her toes in the water. But I think the biggest thing that a lot of people actually don't take into consideration is what Donald Trump and the Republican Party has done for the last 4 to pretty much 9 years, and that's called flood the zone. Do you know what that is?
I don't. Elaborate.
Yeah, so flood the zone is basically when they actually put out so much information, so much content, so many videos, so many interviews that you can't actually pin down or focus on one thing or the other, right? And I say
think that talking to the press too much could ever be a con, though. Why would that be a bad
well,
thing?
no. Listen to me for a second.
Okay.
So as someone, and I know Chris can attest to this, as someone who does content creation and tries to cover like this administration and tries to cover politics every single day, from hour to hour almost, there's a new Trump story. There's a new Trump interview. And it's not just him, but it's also, JD Vance, it's his cronies, it's his talking heads. There's always someone that's actually speaking on something, and they do what's called flood the zone. They put so much information out that it's hard to pin them down on one thing or the other. So there wasn't a time period where Donald Trump was on everything and all of his surrogates were on everything. And that was the period where it seemed like they made it seem that she wasn't actually interviewing or speaking with anyone. But the simple fact of the matter is they just had so many people going at one time, and it was a stark contrast as far as her and her surrogates. Now, when she was able to actually get in front of people and actually interview and do things like that, like a lot of people didn't like her actual way of interviewing or answering questions, because she had a really thought out, methodical way of answering questions versus Donald Trump, which, let's be honest, we as Americans have kind of a short attention span, right? And Donald Trump, if nothing else, capitalizes on his branding and the way that he markets himself. So that's why he says, drill, baby, drill, make America great again. Like those small trigger catchphrases that keep people attention. It's short, it's simple. And to Chris's point, you can put it on a bumper sticker, but you can't put those other things on a bumper sticker that Kamala Harris is talking about. So I think it was a combination of those things. The fact that she actually went into a lot of details where we as American public don't have the attention span to deal with that anymore, which is horrible. I think all of those things kind of hurt her. Also, the truncated time frame. I mean, 107 days, Chris, to fully run a campaign.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I always say less than 100 days because that's what it was.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
it
you guys were
was
trying
a
to
lot of factors.
throw in Joe Biden, who basically has dementia for most of the time.
It's not true. Listen, so the funny thing about that. Wait, hold on. So, Jay, are you a physician?
Sorry?
Are you a physician?
I'm someone who watches him in front of people.
Cool, but are you a physician?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Even if you were a physician, you don't have access to his medical records. And so it's super dangerous to say, oh, such and such has dementia. I mean, like, honestly, I can throw around and say
words and said basically.
Right. But no. But see, that's harmful in the sense that you can say the same thing about Donald Trump. Again, I've watched a lot of Trump interviews, and we're talking about batteries and sharks and Hannibal Lecter and Arnold Palmer's junk. Like, all of those are really insane things. But I don't have access to Trump's medical records. I'm not an actual physician. So it's hard to actually say that. And I have an issue with anyone on the left or right actually saying that this person has.
I'm not declaring it. I'm telling you it's my opinion that he is not mentally fit to take questions from the press, and certainly not to run a country. He was, towards the end of his term and certainly towards the beginning of his campaign, he was not capable of the complex mental thought that it takes to run a country. And that's my opinion.
Donald Trump is.
More than Joe Biden.
But they're 3 years apart. They're 3 years apart, and Donald Trump.
But it's not just age. It's not just age.
You're absolutely right. It's mental acuity. And can you tell me that you've listened to Donald Trump's interviews, and he always there was an interview that he did at the Economic Club of New York when they asked how was he going to bring down the cost of childcare, and it was a 2 to 3 minute ramble.
Holy shit.
That he never answered. And everyone, this is a room full of economists, and they're just looking around like, what are you talking about?
All right, listen, I agree. I'm a pretty centrist guy. I've heard Trump say he wants to nuke tornadoes. I disagree with his stance on abortion. I think it should be nationwide accessible.
That's good.
But I still like Joe Biden, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinion, is less mentally stable than Donald Trump. And here's another thing. It's a little bit off topic right now, but I think Biden-Harris handling of the border was just so horrific that it almost that issue alone is enough to sway my vote to Donald Trump. I think it's insane that they let in, I think it's like 10 plus million immigrants.
Chris, you know what the left really has a problem with?
What's that?
And I think, and I was saying this to Chris, and I'm sure I've heard you say this before, and I know I've said this before, and other people have said this. The left has a huge issue with messaging.
Oh yeah,
they don't brag enough. They don't brag enough, and people think that they're not doing good things because they don't. Listen, I am a fan of Deion Sanders and how he used to high step into the end zone. The left doesn't do that enough, and so people like Jay, which no insult to you, Jay, but if people don't actually dig into the actual information and dig into the numbers or what's actually happening, then they fall for propaganda because their actual information isn't being pushed, branded, or celebrated enough.
Yeah, and I think like it goes to your first point of like, again, like we are a campaign alone fighting against like the massive amount of like disinformation that Trump just like pours onto everybody. I mean, for his first term, he told 30,000 false or misleading claims that are all documented. That's over 20 a day. I think it's well known amongst
We're stretching here.
No, I'm more than happy to talk about those lies, but we're talking about multiple historians have mentioned that this guy lies more continuously and more outrageously than probably any political figure ever in American history.
Can we cite some examples here?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that in 1 second. What we've seen from that is that Trump is always gets all the cameras, so whatever Democrat messaging doesn't get across. B, he's able to like obviously spread whatever he wants because the media can't keep up with that many lies. It's literally like the German playbook, just like if you just tell a lie enough over and over and over again, no matter how outrageous, people will start to believe it. And then 3, it all becomes normalized. So like Santana, you definitely know that 5 years ago, if we were having some of these conversations we have every day on TikTok, people, I'm not talking to the guests here. I'm talking like a bunch of other people we've talked to before. Some of the standpoints about like their standpoint on the LGBTQ plus community or their standpoint on a variety of different topics would be laughed out the door 5, 6, 7 years ago as crazy alt-right garbage. And now all of a sudden it's mainstream. We're having these conversations. It's so normalized. And so those 3 things, you flood the message, you can't keep up with the lies. There's so many cameras on you. The message is normalized and any messaging that we have does not break through. And you talk about that's on a campaign scale. That in itself, that much disinformation, it destroys democratic institutions. It starts to break the fabric of like America. And then so we have to like fight against that too. While we're trying to beat this guy, we're also trying to like uphold our judicial system and our checks and balances that are falling apart because he just is such a piece of shit. Yeah. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, Jay, just to kind of add on to what Chris said, even with the lies, right? Donald Trump tells massive lies, like massive disprovable lies, but he also tells like unreasonable small lies for no reason. Fun fact, Donald Trump has said many times that he was Oprah Winfrey's last guest for the Oprah show, which is not true. Like it's actually like you can see, there's video proof. You can go see who was the last host. I mean, not the last host, but the last guest. But that's something that he repeats over and over and over because it's like such a small, insignificant lie. Like, why are you lying about these things? And for him, it doesn't matter if it's a small lie or if it's a big lie. If it doesn't fit his narrative, like he's going to change it. And that's something that he does.
I mean, I personally, I do not care if he lies about that or is misinformed or whatever. I think that's such an instant. Like what
about bigger, more important things? Like the most obvious example, the 2020 election.
Or how about the second biggest one with COVID?
2020 election, COVID.
Elections. What about COVID?
Tariffs. I mean, he lies all the time about the basic fundamentally how tariffs work. Do you know how many people I've talked to on live who believe that tariffs are paid for by, if we place Chinese tariffs on Chinese products, that they're paid for by China?
The price gets higher and the consumer pays more.
Yeah, but like Trump has said like 100 times out of his mouth that tariff is paid for by China or the other country, and it's sent, quote, directly into the Department of Treasury. That's just a flat out lie. He just lies to America.
What I'm really thinking is we'd stop buying from China and start producing domestically, which is a hopeful outlook. But I know I really can't defend that. But it comes down to like, again, as a not super informed voter, like I believe he ran the country better from 2016 to 2020.
Right.
Biden-Harris administration.
Right. And I'm not knocking you for that because, again, that goes back to what I was just saying to Chris. Like the left has a messaging problem. They don't brag enough.
It's not the messaging problem, man. Like my gas was cheaper, my groceries were cheaper. I feel like
but do you understand why? Hold on. Stop for a second. Do you understand why your gas was cheaper under Trump? And then what actually caused it to go up under Joe Biden? And what actually caused it to go down?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I'm a little
Sure.
bit.
Do you understand why your gas was cheaper under Trump? What caused it to go up under Biden? And what has caused it to come back down under Biden?
From my understanding, we drill more domestically under Trump, more fracking, more oil drilling.
No.
This guy just rolled his
And see again, that's the thing, right? And again, I'm not knocking you, Jay, because most people don't know these things, but most people don't dig into or consume information the way that, Chris does, that I do, that other people do. And to actually be able to understand that when, Trump was president, he went to OPEC during, COVID and actually cut a 2-year deal to actually cut oil production, at the same time selling off 16 refineries, including the largest one in Texas, which then after, the country opened back up, there was a shortage in the oil supply, which caused an increase in the actual price. OPEC then realized that we're dumb enough to continue to pay those high prices. So there was no incentive for them to actually drop the prices. And so while Trump was out of office, the prices were high under Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden went to OPEC and said, hey, can you guys drop the prices? And they said, for what? Like, you guys are paying them. Why should we drop them? So Joe Biden then actually released our oil reserves, flooded the actual oil market, which caused the overall price to drop because there was more supply. And then when the actual prices were down, Joe Biden bought back that oil to replenish our reserves, buying the same oil that was just sold at a lower price while dropping the overall price of oil. Dropping the overall price of gas within the country. That's why the actual price came back down. Donald Trump caused the prices to go up with his decisions after saying that COVID was going to be a 2-week thing, but yet signing a 2-year deal with OPEC. People don't understand that, but they see the actual cause, which everything takes time within politics. That's the problem, right? Everything isn't immediate. And so you think that when you finally see something happen, you believe that, oh, it's caused by this person, when really it's a process and it all takes time.
W's. Beautifully said.
Yeah, that's like way too specific for me to follow.
Right, but I'm not even blaming you.
No,
Yeah,
I take your word for it, but like, I don't know.
It's like, because politics is like, there's too much information. It's hard to get information. First of all, Santana beautifully said. Second of all, like, even like something as simple as like the infrastructure bill that Joe Biden passed. There's $9.8 billion in there for high-speed rail. That's probably not going to be cut across the United States. I've lived in Georgia. I just moved to Chicago, but I've lived in Georgia my entire life. Okay, people find this funny when I travel. When I start traveling for the first time, like in my life, to do anything.
Sorry, Chris. You said $9.8 billion.
Yeah.
Countrywide, that's like pennies. That's not much at all. We've probably sent
for our infrastructure, though. Do you know what the infrastructure is?
The infrastructure. No. I was saying the infrastructure bill. The infrastructure bill is $1.3 trillion. Yeah. I'm just saying the high speed rail in particular.
Yeah.
Was $10 billion.
Yeah. Sorry. That's
no, you're good. Yeah. So the infrastructure bill is 1.3 trillion, and like a bunch of states, including Georgia, got like their biggest infrastructure investment from the federal government ever. Trump also promised to pass that bill and like never showed up with it. But regardless, yeah, like, dude, I've said this so many times to people. When I travel when I started traveling for the first time, and I would go to like places, like if I go to like DC or New York or wherever, like people are stunned that like they're like Harry, my best friend, he lives in New York, and we were meeting up in DC. And I'm like, what time's your flight? He's like, I'm not taking a flight. I'm taking Amtrak. I'm like, what the fuck? What is that? I don't know what that is. And everyone thought this was this funny thing in DC because they're like, what do you mean you don't know what Amtrak is? I'm like, I don't have public transportation in Georgia. It doesn't exist. Like there's MARTA that goes from like 20 miles in the city, and that's it. If you live anywhere else in the metro Atlanta area and you don't live near a MARTA station, you need a car. I've never fucking been on a train in my life. And so when there's like a high speed rail from Atlanta to Orlando, that's fucking crazy. Right. But when that's not going to be done for another 20 years. And in 20 years, whoever the president is, we shouldn't be saying like, oh,
take
look.
Credit for it.
Yeah, exactly. We shouldn't be saying, oh, look, they got a high speed rail built. They're cutting the tape. We should be able to go back and say, Joe Biden passed this massive infrastructure bill.
No, and I'll even counter that point, Chris, to another point. When you leave out of the country and you see the actual transportation system of other countries, it blows your mind.
I was going to say, I'm studying abroad in Spain right now.
Exactly. I was just about to say I was in Spain for 3 weeks.
Anywhere you want for cheap. Anywhere in Europe, I mean, not anywhere in Spain. And it's like dirt cheap. It's insane how bad we are.
But listen, think about the actual, like even the highway in Spain versus the highway in the United States. And I've driven all around the country. I moved from South Carolina to Washington State, and I drove 3 days, 3,000 miles. There's a massive difference in the actual transit system and the infrastructure when it comes to other countries and the United States.
United States, I'm just picking a number here, but it's probably 15 times the size of Spain.
That's true. It's massively larger.
Connected with trains, and it makes me jealous. I've been here 3 weeks, and already I'm noticing And also, I get my weekly groceries for like $40. Like it's insane. They are.
What part of Spain are you in?
Barcelona right now.
You're where?
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Okay, I flew into Barcelona, and then I ended up driving from Barcelona because we had an issue with our flight. Drove from Barcelona down to Malaga, and I stayed in Malaga. But yeah, no, it's a huge difference. I love the United States of America, but we are severely lacking in multiple ways. And the sad fact of the matter is the quote unquote conservative party, the Republican Party, is quite literally the party of obstruction that's holding us back in multiple ways from being able to progress like other countries. There's no way, no reason that we shouldn't have universal health care. I mean, we pay so much into our healthcare system, but we're one of the unhealthiest country. We have such a lower life expectancy, but yet we spend so much money on our actual healthcare system. It's insane.
Yeah, we're messed up in a lot of ways. But I think Obamacare is what governs the healthcare in this country to a major extent. Wait, I'm even prompted to leave the live. Did you ask me to do that, Chris?
Did it say you got a violation?
No, I just said leave live question mark. I think
you accidentally click on it. That was you. You must have when you swiped out for a second.
True. But I was saying, from my understanding, the current healthcare system in the United States is largely set up by Obamacare. And like you said, healthcare in the States is a fucking disaster. Like too expensive for too high premiums. You don't get coverage.
Well, you know what's funny about that? And Chris, I don't mean to take over. I'm sorry.
You're good, bro.
You know what the funny thing is about that when, the ACA came about, quote unquote, Obamacare, like the biggest problem that people had was the fact that if you didn't have insurance, then you would be fine. Like there was a whole thing. You know why that was?
No.
Because Republicans wanted to put a poison pill in quote unquote Obamacare because they didn't like the ACA so much that they actually made that a stipulation. And that was the only way that they would pass that is if they actually find people who don't have insurance. So again, there's certain politicians that like to play politics instead of actually governing and doing things to be spiteful because they want to get a political win versus actually taking care of United States citizens is absolutely insane. But that's the Republican Party, right? They do things that are detrimental to American citizens and also other citizens of the world. Literally, a lot of things, whether it's feeding kids during the summertime, whether it's healthcare, whether it's, universal background checks for, firearms, all of these things have been stopped by the Republican Party who wants to, quote unquote, conserve things. But really, all they're trying to do is obstruct, delay, and find another way to continue to gain power.
True. Sorry, I just got caught up reading the comments.
Don't read the comments; they're wicked. They
I'm
get
watch
wicked.
the Bills game in a second, but before I go, I'd like to ask you boys your thoughts on that little salute that Elon did on the stage at inauguration.
Yeah, dude, I think it was really bad. And I really was disappointed in the insane amount of gaslighting from the Republicans of this. You didn't see what you saw. Like I would have been able to say that Elon Musk, I don't even, if everybody would have done the, right thing, and when there's obvious, understandable outrage of not once, but twice, we all clearly saw what we saw, of Republicans just being like, yeah, he really shouldn't have fucking done that. But instead it was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then everybody came to his defense and then started gaslighting and being like, oh, well, you didn't see. I'm like, what? Yeah. I at first, when I first saw the clip, truly, I was like, okay.
I thought it was AI, bro.
I was like, he's probably being a little bit awkward and something. And then I watched the full clip and I was like, no, I was gaslit myself. I was buying into people being like, oh, no. And then I watched the full thing and him do it twice. And I was like, bullshit. It was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And there is no one else who, the screenshots that the people are taking to be like, oh,
we got comments here saying that Tim Walz did. Is that true?
Yeah, no, dude. It's like the comments are again, it's like the way that we're being gaslit. It's like people are screenshotting anyone with their arm up in that direction being like, why did you not care when they did it? But you watch the full video and obviously like Tim Walz or anyone else who maybe at one point had their hand up did not look the same as Elon Musk double hitting his chest. And it was disgusting. It was abhorrent.
Yeah, no. I mean, when I first saw that, I gave him the benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't think that's what he was doing. But the simple fact of the matter is, when you look at the video, you looked at it and look at it in comparison of other videos where he said, "quote unquote," "my heart goes out to you." The difference
I know.
in the actions, and then you couple that with the fact that his father is on record on an interview saying that his grandparents were Nazis. Like it's too much. And I'm sorry, my personal opinion about it is, like, we can talk about MAGA, we can talk about, the difference between the left and the right, but I could have sworn, maybe I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that we all had an agreement within the United States of America to punch Nazis in the face. And I always think, what would Indiana Jones do? What would Indiana Jones do? And I'm sorry, like, it's insane.
Yeah, again, it goes back to like the normalist. It goes quickly back to like the normalization thing. Again, we see what happens. Democrats are understandably outraged. Republicans fight back. We talk about it, and then everybody becomes normalized to it. 5 years ago, if anybody would have ever made a type of gesture like that, they would be ostracized from the society. Both sides of the party would say, "Get the fuck out." But again, Republicans have mastered the ability to do something outrageous. Democrats get angry. They all say, "Oh, look, they do something horrible." Democrats get angry. They say, "Oh, look at the Democrats getting angry." And then they gaslight everybody.
They have to own the libs.
And it becomes normalized. And it's breaking our society, dude. We're up here like the fucking people that I debate are watching like Nick Fuentes. That dude 10 years ago was only known from fucking like 4chan. And now he's right here in the mainstream. It's horrible. It fucks my head. All right, listen, Jay, you've been quite respectful, and I hope you enjoy your trip to Spain. You're incredible, Santana. Jay, W's in the chat for Jay. Santana, how are you, brother?
Good. Just around the house doing some cleaning, and listening to one of my favorite streamers debate, and so.
You're too kind. You're too kind, Santana. You're too kind. How have the lives been? I've got to come over there and hop on a panel.
Bro, they've been insane. They've been insane, especially.
It's been bad lately, huh?
Yeah. I mean, like, people don't really have to hide anymore. So
I know. Oh my God.
It is what it is, though. But like, I don't know. I'm getting ready to. I'm trying to. I think Trump had an interview yesterday. I know he was in California. I have to do a breakdown of his interview, and it's so hard to keep up with everything that he does.
Yeah, dude, you got it.
It's insane.
Two things. First of all, guys, if you guys aren't following Santana, please do. This dude's goated. Second of all, I admire your ability to like stay calm through the debates, because even the last few days, dude, I've actually like full crashed out. I've been like, I can't do it. Like I almost just closed my phone. I cannot do this anymore. So props. But yeah, make sure you take care of the mental, dude, because you watch that guy too many times, you can feel the brain cells. You're just starting to lose them.
I have a standing therapist appointment. I go see my therapist every Friday.
That's good.
Right. So there's that. And then I just got diagnosed with ADHD.
Brutal.
So,
I'm with you.
Yeah. So now I have medication.
That's
so
good.
like, that's something.
That's good.
So I don't know. I'm taking care of it.
That's
good. I need it.
No, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I'm also therapy once a week, Thursdays, and you gotta be able to make sure you take care of yourself and do other things so you're able to do this, or you'll drive yourself fucking nuts. Absolutely. And hope the medication for the ADHD goes well. I've always I've talked a lot on live about like my mental health journey and some of my past. I've tried many different medications for my ADHD, but nothing.
Yesterday was the first time that I actually took the medication.
Yeah.
And it's weird. My wife and we went out to brunch, and it was like so much happening around us, but there was like no chaos.
Yeah.
And I was
it's like completely silent. Yeah. It's really weird.
It was insane.
It's really weird.
So.
It made me like, when that's the same feeling I had, but it makes me like, I don't know. I couldn't get used to the feeling. It just made me really uncomfortable. And it was such a drastic change for me, going from like so much chaos in my head to so much silence. Like I probably could have spent more time trying to get used to it. I tried it again at one point. And like, I don't know. It was hard for me, but I know it works really well for a lot of people. So I'm glad like if the silence is working, dude.
I mean, like there's so much stuff that I have going on now that I actually need to lock in on. And so I'm like,
I'm
okay,
in.
I
That's right.
need, I need this. And so, hopefully it's something that works out. But
Yeah.
at the very least, addressing mental health. So
Good.
my therapist recommended this. Hold on, let me show you.
No, you're good.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
the green screen is on. So I have a
What is,
new book that I have to
oh,
read.
ADHD. Oh, that's dope. That's sick.
Yeah, so
That's
my
dope. Hell yeah.
therapist gave me that and told me to take it in conjunction with the medication to
Nice.
get a better understanding and all this other stuff. So
Uh,
it's a whole process.
yeah, no, yeah, dude. I'm proud of you, man. Mental health is
Yeah.
it's certainly a process. That's for sure. It was like six
Some
or
people are
seven.
saying, show the book again. I'm sorry.
It's 80. What?
ADHD 2.0.
Yeah. It's I was
It,
like, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just about to tell the chat. It's geared towards adults and it talks about the medication breakdown, other ways of coping, sleep, diet, all this other stuff. But it's really good. It's by Edward M. Hallwell. So yeah, there's that. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Chris.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You're good. I was just like, again, like props for uh, doing that and learning. I know the learning process is it's a hard one. I was diagnosed with OCD at like 6 or 7, and then that preceded
Really?
that preceded like a very long. Been in psychiatry and therapy offices for a long time, and I went right when I started TikTok. I was in an outpatient program for depression. I took a break from
Mm-hmm.
school in January of 2023, and there was a little bit of relearning there. But my combination of like really bad ADHD with OCD is like it's like it's kind of more rare because they're two like polar opposites, but they play off each
Right.
other really well. So, and I just I was lucky enough to try to start being forced to understand my own brain young. So I always advocate to like it's a challenging thing to like start to learn about those things later in life.
Yeah.
But fucking props to you, dude. It's ADHD is a tough one. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
on
I'm
the journey.
I'm an old man at this point, Chris.
You're not
and,
old. You're not old. That's wrong. I just disagree. What a terrible thing to say. What a horrible thing to say. No, but it's seriously. I'm proud of you, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's a hard thing.
No. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm gonna get it out your way, let you
No,
get your debates. I'll be listening. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you. You're welcome anytime. I appreciate you, man. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And if you need anything, let me know, and I'll pop up in a panel soon. I promise.
I'll be waiting for you. I'll see
All right,
you later,
brother.
brother.
Sounds good. Appreciate you a lot, man. Guys, if you're not following Santana, go show him some fucking love. We love Santana, dude. What a guy. Love Santana. Love Santana. Yeah, dude. It's like my only when it comes to giving advice about mental health. Like I've tried to learn more about like what it's like to have to like learn and take medication for the first time at like a young adult age or just any age that's not like 11. It's like really it's like easy for me. I learned this a while ago. Like it's very easy for me to be like, oh yeah, go to therapy, go try like medication. But like, that's really hard for people. Obviously, understandably, I understand that now. It's like when you're fucking, when I'm like 7 in a doctor's office because like I don't understand why I have to flip the light switch 1,000 times before I'm allowed to walk out of my room. Pretty easy to start breaking down your brain, and you get used to like explaining your feeling, you're opening up to people, and then on like a massive medication journey. So that's all. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, double tap the screen, please. What time is it? Jack Bob's on. You have OCD too? I didn't know that. I appreciate you being here, by the way. Yeah, OCD's a bitch. OCD's a bitch. I don't really have like physical compulsions anymore. I grew out of that. It's really just the mental. It never stops. Very proud of you. I love you. Or I'm proud of you. Jesus, sorry. I do love you as well. Yeah, improving the mental is not easy. It's not easy. So many people in here, I guarantee, are way too hard on yourselves. Life's not an easy thing, dude. It's actually a really fucking hard thing all the time. All the time. It's really hard. Oh. Yeah, life is so hard. No one survives. Well, that's what they say about risks. Life's so risky, no one makes it out alive. Hey, Chris, what's going on, Eric? Love you, Chris. I love you. Different forms of OCD. Having ADHD and being an editor is a wild combo. Yeah, ADHD is a hard one, dude. You have ADHD and OCD? Yeah, it's a brutal combination, dude. It's very hard to manage both. They play off each other very well. I've seen the same therapist once a week for so many years, and I'm told the same thing every week. We laugh about it because I'm like, you'll never be allowed to retire because I'm never gonna. I try to. It's hard to train your brain when you think a certain way. Skyline or Gold Star? What a great question. Skyline. I've done the taste test blind many times. Go through Skyline. The Eagles won. I called it. Now I think the Bills will win. Super Bowl winner. I don't know. Bills. Gold Star. They're both like the same. I don't know. Love it here. Love you. Favorite COD game? Probably Black Ops 3. I know people are gonna hate that answer, but I was so sweaty in that game. I can't cheer for the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Rah. Yeah, brutal combo. Colombia, they just placed tariffs on us after Trump announced tariffs on them. The Colombian president said there was like a flight that was not accepted. Trump got angry. The Colombian president said he would use his personal plane to make the flights, but said that he wasn't going to back down about something else, and then placed tariffs on the United States. Also, like 40% of our coffee comes from Colombia. So assuming the tariffs go through, as Colombia has now placed tariffs on us, because they assume they're going to go through, your coffee just got like significantly more expensive. Yeah, that's how I self-medicate fucking ADHD. I drink an unbelievable amount of caffeine. It's really not great for me. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. What helped your OCD? I haven't found anything. A lot of therapy. I have medication I could never really hone down. Now I just take like an SSRI, but I don't know. A lot of therapy, a lot of time. I'm sorry, I know that's not a great answer. But yeah, a lot of medication. I've always been more like a lot more sensitive to medication, so I just struggled to find one that I could get on and stay on. Yeah, my frontal cortex is like the size of a peanut. Or you could do what I did in like 2023, just lean into it. Just start, doing like, just chase the dopamine, With ADHD, you just start chasing the ADHD, combine those two, you just start chasing the dopamine, start doing really positive things for your health, like gambling, drinking, sex. It does not end well. I'll tell you that from a personal experience. Don't do that. You should go to therapy, try to find some medication that works for you, listen to the doctors, and know it's all going to be okay. And even when it doesn't feel like it's going to be okay, it will be okay. Because it was like 2022, and I was in an outpatient program for depression. 2023, sorry. And I was like starting TikTok. And somehow I found my way here, even though it didn't seem likely at the time. All right, let's do Abby, hello. All right, if you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Where are the Trump supporters, bro? Oh, fuck. Can you just let me know if, because I'm smart, all right? Well, why don't you come up here and tell me how smart you are? Proud of you, Lindy, I appreciate you a lot. Proud of you, Chris. Italian, proud of you. Katie, you're too kind. No dolphin diving today. I don't think I can take dolphin diving today. Where's my... Oh shit, food's at the door. Damn, that was kind of fast. All right, then let me do this. I'm gonna take a pause from debates because I just got food and I need to eat. I love all of you so much, and I'll hop back on in just a bit. Honestly, I need to make a video and shower anyways, and then I'll hop back on. Rebecca, I'm really proud of you. I love you. Really quick, let me do some of these. Hannah sent. Sup, Chris? I love you. What's up? What am I eating? I got an acai bowl. Trisha, thank you so much for $1. Did you do DBT and IOB? I did quite a bit. It's I appreciate you, Trisha. Thank you so much for $1. Truly, Cassie, thank you so much for $5. It truly saddens my soul as a geriatric nurse for people's patients and grandparents when they call natural motor defects from aging, dementia, motor skills slow significantly compared to the sharpness. Do better, people. You're the best, Chris. Cassie, exactly. Very well said. I really appreciate you doing that work. And yeah, I mean, even Biden fractured his foot in 2020 and kept on the campaign trail. Many people don't know that. And he didn't really heal right a lot because he refused to stop campaigning. And that the doctor noted that that's why he's so much more stiff now, because he started getting neuropathy in his feet and it caused a lot of pain when he walked. So that's why he shuffles like he does now. People are like, oh, it's him getting older. I'm like, actually, well, it's purely a lot just because of the injury to his foot during 2020. Violet, thank you so much for 50 cents. Okay, bad. Don't apologize. I appreciate you. I got you. Tatiana, good to see you. Today feels so heavy with everything going on. It's such a nice surprise to see you on a Sunday. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I appreciate you. Proud of you. I'll be back. I will be back shortly. I'll be back later. I'm going to make a video or two and then hop back on probably. Shelby, thank you so much for $10. Can you read and amplify HR 23? It passed the House and it's heading to the Senate and not enough people are talking about it. It threatens the ICC from investigating the U.S. in shortest term. Shelby, I really appreciate $10. I'm going to screenshot that and I will take a look at it. I really, really appreciate you. Seriously. Thank you. Gabby, thanks so much for $5. As a Lions fan, someone was making Ben Johnson jokes to Dean and Parker the other night and they had no clue. Jesus Christ. Refreshing to hear a bit of sports talks between the debates. Keep it up. No, Gabby, yeah, it's I'm a big sports guy. You know, like the I'd say like basketball is like I'm a big please, Josh Allen, please. Yeah, I'm like a big NBA guy, but I like football a lot. We were just talking, people were getting so mad at me for saying the Commanders were going to beat the Lions. Sorry to your Lions. I mean, I have nothing against the Lions, and I really want it for your city. I mean, the poor Lions, the last decade or two. But yeah, man, and even like, oh man, those years with like Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford, just like fucking Matthew Stafford was like practically fucking dude, the years of the Detroit Lions with Calvin Johnson, like, I actually really like Calvin Johnson. That dude is like, if you listen to the interview with Calvin Johnson, he used to talk about before he didn't want to retire, but before those games, he was in so much pain. His ankles, Calvin Johnson's ankles were so bad. And so literally his wife said on the interview that like on the documentary they made that like, well, everyone knew because Calvin Johnson was so big that like part of the game plan is you gotta hit him. Right, you got to be rough. Every time Calvin Johnson takes the ball, you got to punish him for catching the ball. And like his ankles were so bad that every morning, his wife said every morning he got up for multiple years, he wouldn't be able to bend his ankles, so he'd get out of bed and just shuffle. That's what he'd do. He'd like literally have to shuffle because he couldn't bend. There's no movement. And every single time before practice, before a game, you got to take medicine, brace him, warm him up, start moving him, and then you get into the game. And he just would just like have to ignore the pain and just fucking play. After the game, couldn't move, literally would just barely walk out of the stadium, brace him. His ankles were so bad. And like, it's crazy here. And meanwhile, Matthew Stafford is just like fucking Calvin Johnson down there somewhere. Got a feel for the Detroit franchise, man. Allie, thank you so much for $1. I've missed the way too many streams recently, but happy early birthday, Allie. So good to see you. I appreciate you. Sending you so much love always. You're the best, even if you aren't rooting for the Chiefs. Can't wait to rub that three-peat in. We'll see about that, Allie. Please, Josh Allen, please. You're amazing, Allie. Thank you so much. Fatima, thank you so much for $10. Love you, man. Your kindness and intelligence gives me so much hope in humanity. We got this. I love you. Thank you so much for $10. It goes a really, really long way. Who's my NBA team? I'm just like a big LeBron fan. Patricia, that's my glorious king. Patricia, thank you so much for $20 on Venmo. Holy shit, it goes a really long way. Keep pushing. We need to keep speaking out. I know how frustrated it must be, but you're doing a tremendous service for America. By the way, your PayPal working sent $20 still pending. Oh. It's pending, so which means I have to go like there's some security problems. So I appreciate that so much, Patricia. That's $40. Can I get a million W's in the chat for Patricia? Thank you so much. Angie, thanks so much for $5. You're awesome, and I love watching your lives to become more educated. Angie, I appreciate you being here. You fucking rock, truly. Renali, maybe $35. Holy shit. That's incredible. From the bottom of my heart, I don't take that for granted. As a woman in America, I appreciate what you do. I'm scared for what this country is becoming, but people like you in the world give me hope. Like Kamala said, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. Keep fighting, brother. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I'm really proud of you. One day at a time, even if it doesn't feel like it now. It will work out, I promise. I really, really appreciate that type of support. Shares, I don't take it for granted. Zulima, I believe. Thank you so much for $5. I hope I said that right. Thank you for providing me with entertainment while I do my nails. You're so inspiring. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you a lot. Thanks for being here. You fucking rock. Huge, huge, huge W's. All right. Let me. Is that everyone? Double tap the screen. Is Harry here, by the way, or is he just? Nah, he just popped in to say some dumb shit. What a guy. Cassie, thank you again. Hannah, thanks so much for $5. Thank you for being so kind to Biden. You're so inspirational. I'm very proud of you. Hannah, you rock. And another $1. Also love your haircut. Hannah, I love you. Million W's for Hannah. You're always very supportive. What a great person. Abby, thank you so much for 50 cents. Here to tell you that I've made it through the 10 darkest weeks of the year, November 16th through June. Oh, I've made it through the 10 darkest weeks of the year. In Chicago, I assume. W's Abby, you're fucking. Oh, wait. Yeah, that has to be what you're referring to, right? Because like it gets dark at fucking 1 p.m. Abby, you're amazing. I love you. Huge W's. Abby, lastly, Kelly, thanks for a cent. Back away from the camera slowly, preferably about 2 feet away. Guys, what do we, why? Okay. All right, let's. Live never ceases to I say live never ceases to make me chuckle. Live never ceases to make me chuckle. Oh, you guys are funny. Chat wants a Twitch stream soon. Yeah, the live stay wild. Is this what you wanted? It's not. I know it's not. Like, that's what you're gonna get. I'm going to eat my food now. I love you. You're all amazing. I'll be back on. I'm going to post a video. Be on the lookout for it. I love you. And then we'll go live. Maybe we'll go live on Twitch. I'm going back to Chicago tomorrow. So I love you. You guys are all amazing. Truly. Appreciate you. Chat's crazy today. Chat's crazy. Gonna hype me up.